NASA study confirms water vapor above Jupiter's moon Europa and its fueling hopes of possible life. Now, I have to admit, I don't know too much about the moons of Jupiter, but it's got many. Some astronomers say that it even has a dust cloud around it, just like Venus has. Now, it has there are 4 moons: Io, Europa, that we're talking about here, Ganymede, and Callisto. Callisto is the biggest one, and Io is the smallest one. Europa is the second. Europa is the smallest one. Yeah. Okay, so Europa has these striations on it, and from what Wikipedia says, it's the second of the 4 Galilean moons, the second closest to Jupiter, and the smallest, of 3,121.6 kilometers diameter. Is slightly smaller than our moon. The name comes from mythical Phoenician noblewoman Europa, who was courted by Zeus and, became the queen of Crete. And these are all mythical ancient Greek things. Now, has a smooth, bright surface. What can I tell you? The striations, the marks on it, to me look as if somebody's made them. Something has made them. They seem to be going into straight lines, something burrowing underneath, or something displacing the material in straight lines, one above the other. How is that possible? So, it has a bright surface with a layer of water surrounding the mantle of the planet, thought to be 10 kilometers thick. The smooth surface includes a layer of ice, while the bottom of the ice is theorized to be liquid water. The apparent youth and smoothness of the surface have led to the hypothesis that water ocean exists beneath it, which could conceivably serve as an abode for extraterrestrial life. Heat energy from tidal flexing ensures that the ocean remains liquid and drives geological activity. Life may exist in Europa's under-ice ocean, and so far there's no evidence that life exists on Europa, but the likely presence of liquid water has spurred calls to send a probe there. The prominent marking that crisscross the moon here seem to be mainly albedo features. What are albedo features? It's a large area on the surface of the planet which shows a contrast in brightness or darkness with adjacent areas. Okay, well, no. The crisscrossing, we still don't know what makes that. There are a few craters on Europa because its surface is tectonically active and young. Some theories suggest that Jupiter's gravity is causing these markings, as one side of Europa is constantly facing Jupiter. Also, volcanic water eruptions splitting the surface of Europa, and even geysers have been considered as a cause. The color of the markings, the reddish-brown, is theorized to be caused by sulfur, but scientists can't confirm that because no data collected devices have been sent to Europa. Europa is primarily made of silicate rock and likely has an iron core. It has a tenuous atmosphere composed primarily of oxygen, it says. And now this latest Sputnik News article. 40 years ago, the Voyager spacecraft took close-up images of Europa, as we said, one of Jupiter's 4 moons. Subsequent missions to the outer solar system amassing enough fascinating information to make this a high-priority target in NASA's future missions for search of life. The team, led by researchers at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, confirmed traces of water vapor above the surface of Europa. And NASA planetary scientist Lucas Paganini said, "While scientists have not yet detected liquid water directly, we found the next best thing: water in vapor form." Okay, so if it's in vapor form, that means there is water. So according to research papers published in the journal Natural Astronomy just recently, that is yesterday, 18th of November, the team discovered enough water vapor being released from Europa to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool within minutes. Okay? Observations were carried out by Keck Observatory in Hawaii in the course of 17 nights between 2016 and 17, and they were using spectrograph to detect the chemical composition of other planets' atmospheres, scanning the infrared light they released or absorbed. Paganini's team detected faint, distinct signal of water vapor just once during that period. And this is what he says in his paper. He says, we suggest that the outgassing of water vapor on Jupiter's moon Europa occurs at lower levels than previously estimated, with only rare localized events of stronger activity. And this is, of course, groundbreaking evidence to discovery. Is more remarkable as this moon is one of the highest priority targets in NASA's search for extraterrestrial life, of course. Because if it has water and it also has oxygen, well, there you go. For many years, scientists suspected that there's water on Europa's surface, with several tantalizing findings, quote unquote. The first came from NASA's Galileo spacecraft. It found evidence of an electrically conducted fluid on the moon's surface as it measured perturbations in Jupiter's magnetic field near Europa while orbiting the huge mother planet, its host planet. In 2013, scientists announced that they had used NASA's Hubble Space Telescope to detect chemical elements of hydrogen and oxygen, components of water, H2O as we know, and it came in plume-like configurations in Europa's atmosphere. In other words, it's like geysers. This steam was coming out as geysers. Subsequently, more detailed analysis of earlier Galileo data found evidence of plumes of the liquid. The research, along with other previous European findings, has only measured components of water above the surface. And now they have to find out if there's what's there below the surface. Studies using ground-based telescopes for, the ground-based radar, that finds a lot of nice things, to look for water in deep space have to take into account the distorting effect of water in Earth's atmosphere. So to minimize this, Paganini's team used complex mathematical computer modeling to simulate the conditions of Earth's atmosphere. Another planetary scientist at Goddard's, Avi Mandel, said, we performed diligent safety checks to remove possible contaminants in ground-based observations, but eventually we'll have to get closer to Europa to see what's really going on. So this is something that NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission will be doing. That's scheduled for 2023. The Clipper orbiter will conduct delayed survey of Europa's surface, deep interior, the thin atmosphere, the subsurface ocean, and even smaller active vents. And it'll try to take images of any plumes with steaming, like the steaming plume geysers, and sample the molecules it finds in the atmosphere with its mass spectrometers. And these will further unlock secrets of Europa, answering the many questions that the astronomers have of whether it carries water and what's in the atmosphere, and is that able to sustain life. That's amazing. So it's amazing the technology they have to find out about these things. It's amazing. I'll leave links below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.